Hey guys, Eric here from A1Athlete.com, and today we'll be reviewing the Freak Athlete Essentials Nordic Mini. So with Nordic curls becoming more and more popular, people are trying to figure out ways to do them at home. I used to be one of those people that stuffed my feet under my bed frame and just kind of tried to do it that way, really kind of ratchet setup. But the Nordic Mini has really opened the door to a lot of people for affordable Nordic curling at home. Plus, the quality of this thing is really impressive for the price point. It comes in at $250, but you can get a sweet discount if you use our code A1Athlete or hit the affiliate link down in the description below. So first things first, the Nordic Mini really puts mini in the name. It is absolutely tiny, which is perfect for my home setup because I already don't have the most space. I can just kind of put it against the wall somewhere and use it whenever I need to without worrying about, where am I going to store it. Plus, FAE actually just updated the design so that the loading bar in the back is unscrewable. So if you need to store it vertically somewhere behind a door or in the closet or something, you can easily do that now. So how easy is it actually to do Nordic curls with the FAE Nordic Mini? It is one of the best at-home experiences I have ever had with any Nordic benches. The foam is super thick. I have bad knees, snowboarding and hockey didn't do me well the last 10 plus years, but the foam on this thing, it just makes it super comfortable and I have zero issues with it at all. Plus the quality of the material and the foam is going to help avoid that the memory foam effect where your knees are just going to indent into there and it's going to permanently create those indents, and that's just super annoying. So I'm really happy with the material that they chose here. Something I find that's missing in a lot of other Nordic benches is the foot plate. So the foot plate isn't necessary, but it's a super nice thing to have. I like to have something to push off against. It just helps me control a little bit more and just helps me feel a bit more stable. And the foot plate they have is really, really nice. It's nice and large. I have a size 10 to 11 foot, depending on what brand of shoe I'm wearing, and I have lots of room with it. There's no issues at all that way. The texture is really nice. You don't slide with it at all. Using it barefoot or with shoes, no issues. So that stability of the foot plate transfers into the ankle lockers. So the Nordic Mini has these two rollers at the top that kind of help lock your ankles into it. It's adjustable. So if you're like me and you skip calf day too much and you got tiny calves, you can lower this thing right down and really cinch onto your feet. The material felt really good too. It didn't hurt my ankles at all, and it really kept them in place. The material they chose for this is a little bit harder. The casing is kind of a bit more plasticky than the foam pad is, which is fine, especially because you're putting a lot of pressure through that with your ankles. It hasn't cracked on me or it hasn't had that memory foam effect as well. It's done a really good job of providing support without being uncomfortable. So I have to give the FAE Nordic Mini the crown for the most portable Nordic bench. The tiny footprint is just amazing. If you look back a couple of years and you see how bulky and crazy big Nordic benches used to be, this is really a wild thing to have. It's got wheels at the front, so you can pick it up and move it around without having to fully lift it. Even if you did, it's super light, so there's no problems there. The actual measurements for it are 38 inches long and 18 inches wide, and it weighs in at about 50 pounds. So we already talked about how tiny this thing is, but that doesn't take away from the quality of this thing at all. Yes, the foam pad and the ankle lockers are really, really nice, but the rest of the build is super sturdy. I didn't feel like I was gonna fall or break anything at any point, and FAE actually has this thing ready for anybody weighing around 300 pounds. And if you weigh on the heavier side, the loading bar in the back is perfect for kind of counterbalancing yourself. I'm 5'9" at about 165 pounds. I haven't needed to use the counterbalance at all and have had no issues with the size of this thing. But again, if you're closer to 300 pounds, up to 7 feet tall, this thing is perfect for you. So the Nordic Mini doesn't have any fancy bells or whistles in terms of extras for regressions, but the space in front is really good if you're trying to use a yoga ball or put a box there, just to kind of help out, to regress things a little bit. But FAE is actually updating the design of this thing to help out with that. They're adding a bar in the back, so that way you can attach a band to it and then use that to help lower yourself down and kind of take away from your own weights a bit. So that'll be something to really look forward to. So for the price points and for the quality you get with this thing, it's really hard to beat. It does exactly what it needs. You can do Nordic curls at home in a super small footprint. Plus the updated design is gonna make it really easy for you to regress from a full Nordic curl. I would say the FAE Nordic Mini is perfect for anyone wanting to do Nordic curls at home, especially if you're on a budget or if you just have really small storage space and need to, bring this into a closet or just stuff it into a corner somewhere. It's perfect for that. I use this for every single one of my leg days and it's been holding up amazing. But be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want my updated thoughts in a couple of months, because I want to see how this thing will hold up after really going through a couple beatings. But that's it for the FAE Nordic Mini review. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, have a great day and ever forward in becoming an A1 athlete.